Good afternoon. My name is Sally Talbert, Chairman of the Michigan Public Service Commission. I call this meeting of the Commission to order on July 23rd, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chairman Talberg.
Present.
Commissioner Scripps.
Present.
Commissioner Phillips.
Present.
Madam Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We're holding this meeting using Microsoft Live Event. It's compatible with all browsers except Safari, and telephone relay service is available through the phone option. We do call out participant names before speaking to support those listening only by phone or using the relay service. And as indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose connection, the Commission will be considered in recess. We'll attempt to reestablish a connection, but if we're unable to do so within 30 minutes, we will adjourn this meeting. And decisions made prior to the disconnection will be binding. Other business will be handled at a future meeting. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. And in addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via MPSC_commissioners@michigan.gov. If you have intermittent internet service, you should consider listening to the meeting using your telephone and not the computer. Another option is to try and watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted and listen to the audio from your phone. The video feed does have a slight delay while the telephone line is in real time. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. Just a couple of notes about this. First of all, comments can be made verbally by calling in or writing using the Team live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating using the Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting, and we'll have those queued up to read. The Q&A function can also be used to request technical assistance or to submit public comments directed to the Commission. And if you'd like to make verbal comments, you must call in using your phone. We will be muting attendees to minimize disruptions until we reach the time for public comment. Our first order of business is approval of the agenda for today's meeting. I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the agenda for today's Commission meeting.
And Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote and the agenda is approved. Next up, we have the approval of the minutes from the July 9th, 2020 Commission meeting. Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the minutes from the July 9th, 2020 Commission meeting.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the July 9th, 2020 Commission meeting. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and our meeting minutes from the July 9th, 2020 Commission meeting are approved. Next up, we have on the agenda is approval of orders on the consent agenda. Today, the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Mark Kunkel, and I'll recognize Ms. Kunkel.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 4 communications matters and 1 electric matter. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on today's consent agenda.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the orders on the consent agenda. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda are approved. All right, I'll recognize Ms. Kunkel again.
Item 4A1 is case number U-16465, which involves an application with supporting exhibits filed on June 4th, 2020 by iWireless LLC to expand the service area of its designation as an eligible telecommunications carrier in the state of Michigan. The order before you grants the application.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-16465.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps,
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U16465 is approved. Back to Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B1 is case number U-15805, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company for ex parte approval of amendments to a power purchase agreement and a renewable energy purchase agreement. The order before you approves the application.
Recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-15805.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U15805 is approved.
Item 4B2 is case number U-17377, which involves implementation of the provisions of Public Act 95 of 2013. The order before you adopts the funding factor for the Low Income Energy Assistance Fund for 2020 to 2021.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-17377.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? Now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U17377 is approved. I'll recognize Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B3 is case number U-17473, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company for approval of the company's annual routine true-up of securitization surcharges for the billing months of August 2020 through July 2021. The order before you approves the new securitization surcharges.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-17473.
I'll recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries, and the order in case number U17473 is approved. Back to Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B4 is case number U-18356, which involves an application by Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation pursuant to Section 61 of Public Act 295 of 2008 as amended, requesting approval of its voluntary green pricing program proposal. The order before you approves the company's voluntary green pricing program proposal.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-18356.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? All right, we'll have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U18356 is approved.
Item 4B5 is case numbers U-20316 et al., which involve a request by Indiana Michigan Power Company for approval of a one-time credit to certain rate classes and a one-time surcharge to other rate classes resulting from the residual balance arising from the implementation of its Credit B tax refund amount. The order before you approves the request as consistent with the directives in the January 18th, 2019 order in case numbers U-20316 et al.
Recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-20316 et al.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips. I also vote
Aye.
Oh, okay, sorry, didn't mean to jump the gun. I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U20316 et al. Is approved. And back to Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B6 is case number U-20375, which involves an application by Northern States Power Company seeking approval of its 2018 Energy Waste Reduction Reconciliation and 2020 to 2021 Energy Waste Reduction Plan. The order before you approves the 2018 Energy Waste Reduction Reconciliation and approves in part the 2020 to 2021 Energy Waste Reduction Plan.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20375.
And Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Any discussion?
I would, Madam Chair. I want to focus my comments on the interplay between the Integrated Resource Plan cases and energy waste reduction proceedings, and specifically between this EWR case and Northern States Power's IRP. Paragraph 7E of NSP's IRP settlement agreement includes the following commitments. NSP does not object to a graduated increase in EWR savings goals to be achieved by the state program administrator of up to 1.50% by 2021. Program design and costs for achieving any increase in EWR savings goals by the state administrator applicable to NSP in 2020 and 2021 will be resolved in NSP's current EWR plan filing in case number U-20375, this case. Goals and costs for EWR beyond 2021 will be addressed in future EWR plan cases after another statewide potential study can assess the most appropriate levels for EWR beyond 2021 in the Upper Peninsula. That language was taken directly from the IRP settlement agreement signed by both NSP and Commission staff and approved by the Commission on February 6, 2020. It's important to remember that the statutory purpose underpinning the IRP statute is to evaluate the resources that contribute to the most reasonable and prudent long-term resource mix, including consideration of levels of EWR beyond the statutory minimum that are considered cost-effective. Indeed, this is exactly what took place in the NSP IRP, including commitments agreed to by NSP and approved by the Commission. Further, the fact that NSP uses the Commission-approved program administrator should not be viewed as an obstacle to meeting the commitments it agreed to in its IRP. NSP has used the program administrator since the inception of the EWR programs in 2008. Further, as noted above, the use of the program administrator was expressly considered in the terms of the settlement agreed to by NSP. Our approval of the order in this case simply effectuates the terms of the IRP settlement, provisions that were already agreed to by NSP and which were an integral component of the Integrated Resource Plan approved by the Commission as the most reasonable and prudent means of meeting NSP's long-term energy needs. I look forward to the full cooperation of the parties as we move forward to turn these previously agreed to commitments into action. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Scripps. Any other comments, Commissioner Phillips? No, all right. So we'll do a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion, and the motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U20375 is approved. Just want to acknowledge the work of staff and the attorneys on this. All right, we'll recognize Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B7 is case number U-20377, which involves an application by Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation seeking approval of its 2018 Energy Waste Reduction Reconciliation and 2020 to 2021 Energy Waste Reduction Plan. The order before you approves the 2018 Energy Waste Reduction Reconciliation, approves the 2020 to 2021 Energy Waste Reduction Plan, and directs the Commission staff to work with the state-appointed Energy Waste Reduction Program Administrator, Efficiency United, in evaluating the costs and cost-effectiveness of setting higher energy waste reduction savings targets in Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation's service territory.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20377.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? All right, we'll have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number 20377 is approved. I'll recognize Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B8 is case number U-20604, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company requesting ex parte approval of power purchase agreements between Consumers Energy Company and Durban Solar LLC, Esmeralda Solar LLC, and Shady Solar LLC, and the termination of power purchase agreements between Consumers Energy Company and Stockholm Solar LLC and Ulysses Solar LLC. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you. I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20604.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number 20604 is approved. Recognize Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B9 is case number U-20697, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company for authority to increase its rates for the generation and distribution of electricity and for other relief. The order before you denies the petition for rehearing filed by Phil Forner.
Thank you. I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20697.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion, and the motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20697 is approved. Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B10 is case number U-20757, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to review its response to the novel coronavirus pandemic, including the statewide state of emergency, and to provide guidance and direction to energy and communications providers and other stakeholders. Staff member Kathy Cole will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. On April 15th, 2020, the MPSC initiated a proceeding on the Commission's own motion to review its response to the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic and to provide guidance and direction to energy and telecommunications providers and other stakeholders. During this challenging time in our state's history, it is of utmost importance to maintain the safety, reliability, and accessibility of critical infrastructure, including energy and telecommunications services under the jurisdiction of the Michigan Public Service Commission. In the April 15th order, the Commission described its efforts to date to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic and directed energy and telecommunications providers to complete a number of actions in the following areas: customer protections and affordability, accounting treatment, regulatory activities, energy assistance coordination, energy waste reduction and demand response continuity, and broadband access and expansion efforts. The order directed energy providers to file a statement of affirmation in the docket that certain minimum protections were in place for vulnerable customers related to bill payment, disconnection of service, and reconnection of service, and to begin submitting biweekly reports to the Commission regarding customer protections. The April 15th order also sought comment from the public on two topics. The first was utility accounting issues that may arise from extraordinary costs tied to the utility's response to the pandemic, and the second was regarding the continuation of certain regulatory activities through the state of emergency and the COVID-19 pandemic conditions. On April 20th, 20 electric and natural gas providers filed affirmations of customer protections in compliance with the order. By May 28th, 9 electric and natural gas utilities had extended the affirmations of customer protections through June 12th. Utilities continue to work with customers medically or financially impacted by COVID-19 and in need of special assistance. As directed, energy providers began filing biweekly reports describing residential shutoffs and reconnection practices, including the occupancy status, number of customers with unpaid balances for periods of 30, 60, or 90 days, dollar amounts of those unpaid balances, and whether or not those customers were enrolled in a payment plan. According to the data obtained through July 9th, 1,657 households that were shut off due to non-payment now have restored service, and 1,899 households that were shut off due to reasons other than non-payment also have restored service. The order before you acknowledges the efforts of the energy providers, telecommunications providers, stakeholders, and the staff in complying with the April 15th order, gathering information that will aid the Commission in its COVID-19 response and continuing their responses to the COVID-19 pandemic to minimize adverse impacts to customers, utility employees, and service reliability during this uncertain time. Since the April 15th order, the Commission has continued its monitoring of the pandemic, participation in the Governor's COVID-19 task forces and other response activities, coordination with the State Emergency Operations Center, engagement with energy and communications providers and stakeholders, and updates of the COVID-19 response through the Commission's website and other communications. An important area of emphasis by the Commission has been on maintaining reliable and affordable energy for customers and reaching out to customers and partnering organizations with information on various energy assistance programs and customer protections. Based on the feedback received from stakeholders and the public, the order before you addresses issues related to energy waste reduction, utilities accounting treatment of COVID-related expenses, and utility reporting. Specifically, the order before you rejects proposals for utilities to define, track, or defer COVID-19 related expenses beyond the deferral of uncollectible or bad debt expense at this time. Any rate-regulated utility that seeks recovery of COVID-19 related expenses beyond uncollectible expense may make an informational filing with the Commission containing the details described in this order no later than November 2nd, 2020. In addition, the order before you directs all of the following. The staff will continue communication and collaboration with energy and telecommunications providers for the purpose of identifying and addressing issues as they arise and discussing best practices for customer protection and affordability measures going forward. Specifically, staff will file in this docket not later than December 15th, 2020, a summary of discussions around opportunities to improve utility affordable payment plans and other assistance options to more efficiently and effectively serve low-income customers and others impacted by the current pandemic. Investor-owned energy utilities will continue to file a report in this docket detailing data on disconnected service to occupied and unoccupied residences and on unpaid utility bill balances on a monthly basis until a revised reporting template is submitted by the Commission staff. The Commission declines to adjust the annual energy waste reduction targets set by statute and Commission order, but directs staff to continue the energy waste reduction, low income and demand response collaboratives and work groups for the purpose of a continued dialogue and to address challenges with the program delivery due to COVID. Rate regulated utilities are directed to file a report on October 23rd, 2020 and on January 22nd, 2021, detailing their most up-to-date efforts to expand energy waste reduction programs to low and moderate income customers, and staff involved in the current low income energy waste reduction work group will produce a report not later than February 25th, 2021, outlining opportunities to better integrate assistance programs with utility energy waste reduction programs, with a special emphasis on eligibility criteria and opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. Is there a motion, Commissioner Scripps?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20757.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
And we'll go to comment. I think Commissioner Phillips wanted to address this issue.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Kathy, for the summary of the order before us and for your continued support of the Commission. Today, I am encouraged by the results and the data we have seen since the issuance of our initial COVID-19 response order on April 15th. The recommendations and guidance we have received from interveners in this proceeding, in particular consumer advocate organizations, the cooperation and coordination with state agencies and our state electricity and gas utilities, as well as the continued hard work of MEEP grantees and other community-based organizations, have allowed the commission and staff help to address the needs of customers during this unprecedented and challenging period in our state and our nation's history. Since the initial COVID-19 order on April 15th, over 3,500 households have had their service restored as of July 9th. Tens of thousands of customers have had their utility bills paid down through a combination of energy assistance and arrears forgiveness programs. And hundreds, if not thousands, of additional customers have adopted flexible payment plans with their utilities. Furthermore, utility EWR programs are continuing to ramp up, putting Michigan residents back to work while adopting new technologies that will allow EWR contractors to prioritize customer safety and offer households the opportunity to better manage the increased electricity usage they are experiencing during this time. We are also very encouraged that Michigan's investor-owned utilities are reporting declines in the number of customers who are behind on their utility bills. Despite all of these encouraging signs, the realization is that we may still be in only the early stages of this once-in-a-generation pandemic. Our country has once again crossed the threshold of over 1,000 COVID-19 related casualties a day, figures that we have not seen since late May of this year. Many uncertainties also lie ahead, including the trajectory of the virus in the fall and the winter, successful development and distribution of a vaccine, and the continuation of federal unemployment and other forms of financial assistance to individuals and businesses. To that end, we are not by any means declaring victory. And through this order today, we will continue to monitor and respond to the urgent needs of customers as they arise. Additionally, we continue to strongly encourage customers in need to contact their utility or call 211 in order to be connected to energy assistance dollars that can be made immediately available to them. Lastly, and we really cannot say this enough, we thank our incredible staff across all of our divisions for your tireless and unwavering commitment and support of customers in this great state during this challenging time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips, for your leadership and focus on customer protection, energy assistance, and energy efficiency. Also to Commissioner Scripps for your leadership and perseverance dealing with critical infrastructure issues across state government, as well as with industry and other stakeholders. Today's order and the MPSC's overall response to COVID-19 address pressing issues for energy and telecommunications customers. Just a couple notes on some of the issues that our team was immersed in and are addressed in today's order. There were legal, rate, financial and accounting analyses, customer protections and assistance, customer outreach and education, identifying and troubleshooting issues that affected the critical infrastructure industry, such as local permitting and personal protective equipment, and also the continuity and accessibility of the MPSC's operations during an extended period of remote work. Just a couple of specific observations on today's order. First, the Commission's approach to customer protections and energy assistance was unique, and it was shaped by three considerations. First, and always at the forefront, there was a deep commitment to customers and using new creative strategies to serve those in need. Second, there was strategic thinking about the short and long-term impacts on customers. We weren't looking to solve an immediate issue, but then create a bigger problem down the road. And third, it was important that we carried forward lessons learned from the Great Recession that hit our state particularly hard over the next decade. And as a result, customers have maintained their gas and electric service. There's new forms of assistance targeted at those in need. The MPSC regulated utilities, as Commissioner Phillips mentioned, have reported unpaid utility bills either going down or not increasing. And customers are also obtaining millions of dollars in assistance, and concerted efforts continue to educate customers worried about their utility bills and how to get assistance. And then second, We took a measured approach in considering the financial impacts on regulated utilities, listening to the feedback from customers and other stakeholders in this docket. During the past few months, utilities took meaningful steps to identify and implement significant cost savings to mitigate the financial impact of COVID on their operations. Today, we are rejecting utility requests for deferral or recovery of additional COVID expenses beyond the initial authorization for bad debt expense. We recognize the dynamic and unpredictable nature of this virus, so our order does outline a process if an individual utility faces an extraordinary situation and specifies in detail the information that would be needed for the Commission to consider such a request and be evaluated by the staff and other stakeholders. The impact of this virus on families and businesses is profound, and it's important that there's shared sacrifice by the utilities. The Commission also felt it was important to provide certainty on these accounting issues now, so that utilities can continue to focus on serving their customers in a safe, reliable manner and realize appropriate cost savings for the duration of this year. And in closing, I want to acknowledge the important contributions of every single division at the MPSC, as well as our extended MPSC family in the Department of Attorney General and the Office of Administrative Hearings and Rules. It's been a pleasure to work with such a committed team to serve 10 million Michiganders during this difficult time in our world's history. With that, Commissioner Scripps, do you have any additional comment?
You both have said it better than I could, but I certainly agree with the sentiments and comments.
All right. With that, we'll have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U20757 is approved. I'll recognize Ms. Conklin.
Thank you. Item 4B11 is case number U-20765, which involves an application filed by Indiana Michigan Power Company for an ex parte approval of its proposed South Bend solar project and amendments to its renewable energy plan. The order before you approves the South Bend solar project and the amendments to the company's renewable energy plan.
Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20765.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U20765 is approved. Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B12 is case number U-20833, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company requesting ex parte approval of power purchase agreements with STS Hydropower LLC for the outputs of the Cascade Hydro Plant and the Fallisburg Hydro Plant. The order before you approves the application.
Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20833.
Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U20833 is approved. I'll recognize Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4B13 is case number U-20838, which involves an application filed by a Consumers Energy Company for the ex parte approval of power purchase agreements. The order before you approves the application.
Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20838.
Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? All right, we'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U20838 is approved. Ms. Kunkel.
Item 4C1 is case number U-20797, which involves an application filed by Michigan Gas Utilities Corporation for accounting approval to defer incremental investments made from January 2016 through the end of 2019. The order before you approves the application with deferred accounting beginning January 1st, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2021, or until new rates are approved by the Commission in case number U-20718, whichever occurs first.
I'll recognize Commissioner Scripps.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20797.
Commissioner Phillips?
Second.
And Commissioner Scripps, you wanted to address this order?
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to step back and highlight a couple of important points related to this order and to some of the other work the Commission has undertaken in order to keep rates in check for customers during the COVID pandemic. I know we just approved the larger COVID order and want to recognize and thank both you and Commissioner Phillips for your leadership on these issues and for your attention to the many details needed to ensure adequate protections for those struggling to pay their utility bills. As you mentioned, this involved the work of every single division at the Michigan Public Service Commission, and all of us have been intimately involved in these discussions. This order, like the order relating to DTE Electric Company's acceleration of its accumulated deferred income taxes that we issued at our last meeting, represent what I would characterize as both a constructive and flexible approach to maintaining the ability of Michigan utilities to make needed critical infrastructure investments while shielding customers from rate increases in the midst of this pandemic. Like the DTE case, the request in front of us today delays a rate case increase request that MGU planned to file in March, MGU's first such request since new rates took effect January 1st, 2016. Working with staff, MGU agreed to postpone this filing until 2021, and the order in front of us approves accounting treatment to maintain MGU's financial position and allow them to continue to make needed investments while postponing the prospect of a rate increase until late 2021. I want to commend both MGU and our staff, and in particular our regulated energy division, for this constructive approach that balances the needs of the company with those of its customers in these challenging times. I want to be clear that our actions in this case and the DTE Electric case before it should not be viewed as a blank check. The proposed spending and other elements will continue to be thoroughly reviewed for prudence in the next case, nor is it an invitation for others to file similar requests. But where there are, as here, extenuating circumstances, I think these orders show a willingness on the part of the Commission to be flexible and to find creative regulatory approaches in order to protect struggling Michigan families and businesses in a way that also allows for needed investments to go forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Scripps.
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-20797 is approved. All right, next up we have reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. I'll just give a recap of some of the instructions for this. Again, if you'd like to make comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud to the commissioners. This feature is available on the right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. And as a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to other comments. And after taking up comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature. I think I saw someone who already had done that and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment, but you don't include your written comment as well, as this will avoid duplication. We'll first call on the names in the order received. And after hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we'll also ask if there's any other comments from individuals who are on the phone but are not using the online Q&A feature. And please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting, and when it's your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. And just a reminder, the public comment is for the commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not answer specific questions though. And with that, if you could just indicate also your name and where you live if you're willing to share, so we have that for our records as well. So we'll open it up and I'll turn it over to Ms. Cole to see if we have any comments on the Q&A feature.
Madam Chair, we do have some requests to speak, but there are no written comments for me to read from the Q&A function at this point. So when you're ready to open the phone line, our first speaker will be Mr. Mark Haggerty. Mr. Haggerty, if you could please press *6 to unmute your line to be able to address the commission.
Thank you. I just asked if you could please keep your comments to around 3 minutes, just so we can hear from everyone.
Understood. This is Mark Haggerty. Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. I own a company called Michigan Solar Solutions, which was started about 12 years ago. We currently have 3 offices throughout the state, about 34 employees, and we're ready to hire many more. Unlike most businesses, we've experienced a very large increase in business since the advent of COVID-19. Well, this may be a silver lining to the issue at hand with COVID. It is accelerating the end of the 0.5% cap on residential interconnections. When consumers has hit the 0.5% cap on interconnections, we'll start receiving rejection letters, project denied, program closed. This could be weeks after we've had a customer sign a contract with the expectation to proceed. We'll immediately have to lay off many of our people. We'll have to lay off field service employees, salespeople, engineers, project managers. There'll be hundreds of customers with no one to support their systems, their warranties. We'll have to close our Grand Rapids office and lay off the office personnel at our Riverdale office. It is likely the utility company will eventually increase the cap either voluntarily or by mandate, but at that point, the damage will be done. Employees will not sit around and wait weeks or months for it to be increased a little, only to have it hit again in the future. We'll lose these employees. If we survive, we'll be set back years and be forced to start rebuilding our team. The damage will be done. The solar installation professionals cannot just be hired. We have to hire people and train them. It'll take us years to rebuild because the damage will be done. And that is all I have to say. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Mr. Haggerty. Ms. Cole, I think you're on mute if you want to tee up the next the next speaker.
Thank you. Up next is Mr. Rob Rafson. Mr. Rafson, if you could please press *6 to unmute your line, you may address the commission. Mr. Rafson, if you could please press *6 to unmute your line.
Hello, this is Rob Rafson. Can you hear me okay?
We can, Mr. Rafson.
Excellent. This is Rob Rafson. I'm the owner of Charthouse Energy, a renewable energy developer in Muskegon, Michigan. I have some really grave concerns about both process and the results for what looks to be for the 20697 case, the Consumers Energy Rate Case. And I just, Michigan power rates are some of the highest in the country. And I think that the requests that consumers have made is with insufficient data and proof to request the high increases that they've asked for. I have great concern that the results in this case are going to do grave damage to especially the residences that are most affected in this case. And the MPSC staff has all but said that they say, well, there are a lot of problems in the case, and but they can do better next time. And I don't think that is an acceptable solution or approach for the MPSC staff to take towards these issues. I also think that the that the utility, that Consumers has been unwilling and did not provide sufficient data or support for their continuing of the self-imposed 1% cap, and feel that that's going to have a significant detrimental effect for both the businesses in the business and the customers who want to solve the high rates of power by building themselves energy efficiency and renewable energy on their own facilities. And I just hope that you guys will take a more aggressive and active role in keeping the rates down and allowing the expansion of renewable energy in the state. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rafson, are you representing yourself or Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association today?
Today I am representing myself.
Okay, thank you. And I'll just ask our Executive Secretary, Ms. Felice, to be given these comments relate to the pending electric rate case for Consumers Energy. We'll just file a memo to that docket to notify the parties that we've received public comment on this matter. Are there any other comments through the chat, Ms. Cole?
No other comments have been received at this time.
Okay. So I think we'll move and open up the phone lines, and just a reminder to hit *6 if there's any comments over the phone. All right. Hearing none. Thank you for that. I just have a couple of announcements before we adjourn today. Governor Whitmer announced last week the appointment of Commissioner Scripps as the new MPSC chair starting Monday, July 27th. So this is my last meeting as chairman. I plan to continue to serve on the commission during 2020 as part of my career transition. Congratulations are in order, and it's with great excitement to pass the gavel. I brought it here for you. I'll mail it to Northport. Commissioner Whitmer made 2 excellent appointments to the Public Service Commission in 2019 with Chair Scripps and Commissioner Phillips, and I'm honored to serve with the 2 of you. Chair Scripps, you are uniquely knowledgeable and passionate about the MPSC and the issues we face, and with your vision, hard work, dedication, I'm confident you'll make a major impact on the agency and the energy and telecommunications industries that we regulate. We have important issues facing the commission in the coming years and are fortunate to have the talent and fresh perspectives of the 2 of you to bring to the commission, as well as the expertise, continuity, and institutional knowledge of all the talented staff. I'll ask my colleagues in our audience to indulge me for a moment just to reflect a little bit on my time as chair, but first I want to thank both Governor Snyder and Whitmer for their support of me and the respect of the Public Service Commission as an independent agency. Also, to the staff who are just incredibly talented, top-notch, and I'm grateful for their support of one another, their expertise, their patience, wise counsel, and their commitment to public service. I'm proud of our collective accomplishments the last few years. And just to mention a few, developing and implementing a strategic plan, implementing major energy laws with a ton of stakeholder involvement, overhauling legacy information technology systems, expanding our world-class gas safety program. We stood up a new communications team, overhauled our power supplies to be cleaner and more efficient, and addressing other pressing infrastructure issues that address safety and reliability, ensuring continuity amid numerous retirements of long-term employees, COVID and other changes. I am not sure, but I think it's quite possible that under my tenure as chairman, we had more retirements than any in history. And part of it is that people come to the Public Service Commission and they spent their careers here. And after 30, 40, some years. We had a lot of people retire that first came on in the early 70s and early 80s. And then finally, advancing broadband was a big piece of this as well, including expansion of the role of electric cooperatives and also the E911 oversight based on statute and the work of our staff. I'm just incredibly appreciative of the collaboration with stakeholders on all these issues. Michigan has a history of working through utility issues in a bipartisan, collaborative manner, and that can be really powerful to bring about sustainable change. And before I close, I just want to acknowledge an individual who's particularly supportive of me as I grew into the role as chair. Norm Sari was there from day one, helping me behind the scenes with communications and legislative strategies, among other things. And I am proud to say that I'm finally taking his wise counsel to prioritize my family. Greg, Eva, and Nina have been patient, putting up with a distracted mom and wife, and have been incredibly supportive of me during this time. So my girls even had a pen inscribed with the name Chair Mom, and I may hold on to that title after today. And with that, Chair Scripps, you have this. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I will say more at the next meeting, but you leave impossibly big shoes to fill, and the way that you've prioritized staff and the culture of the commission and your selfless decision to allow for a transition of many months. I mean, all of it sort of highlights the kind of leader that you are, and I'm just privileged to be able to work with you and with Commissioner Phillips. It's a wonderful team, a great collegial atmosphere, and look forward to working to try and continue your good work. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair Scripps.
I would just like to quickly comment. I feel fortunate to be able to share this role as commissioner with you during this several months while you were chair. So I'm just very fortunate to have that opportunity to learn from and work with you. And I know you know this, but I think it's important to say again, your leadership at the helm, not only for the state of Michigan, but also for the Public Service Commission itself, will have undeniable and permanent positive impact on the history of this great state. So really your tenure and the impact that you've had will be etched in stone here. And we look forward to working with you over these next couple of months and watching you as you grow into this new role.
Thank you. All right, so that, oops, I hit the wrong button. All right, so our next regular commission meeting is scheduled for August 20th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. Do want to make a note that consistent with Executive Order 2020-154 to suppress the spread of COVID-19 and protect the public health and safety of this state and its residents, and to permit the reliable scheduling of meetings, the August 20th meeting will be held remotely. We'll continue to use the Microsoft Teams video conferencing with a telephone option to participate. And for a further public announcement with the details of the August 20th meeting will be issued soon. Is there a motion to adjourn, Chair Scripps?
Chair Mom, I move to adjourn today's meeting.
Right. Recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I second the motion.
We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Scripps?
Aye.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion, and the motion carries by unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.